The CoinDesk Spotlight is brought to you by Nexo, the place to earn on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more.
Decentralized finance Oracle Umbrella Network, which acts as a bridge between smart contracts and off-chain data feeds, is migrating from Ethereum to relatively low-cost smart contract platform Binance Smart Chain. Umbrella Network saying BSC integration could reduce transaction costs by more than 90% compared to Ethereum. Joining us now to discuss is Sam Kim, founder of the Umbrella Network in Los Angeles. Welcome, Sam.
Good morning, Christine.
Before we get into the Great to have you. Before we get into the whole migration, first of all, maybe you could tell us what exactly does Umbrella Network do?
Yeah, Umbrella Network is an Oracle. Probably more for your audience is probably more familiar with our larger counterparts, Band and Chainlink, kind of the Gen 1 of the Oracles. What we do is take data that's off-chain, let's say data like weather or stock feeds or commodity price feeds, and we make that available for blockchain applications to use in their smart contracts.
Mm-hmm. And so why did you decide to move from the Ethereum blockchain to Binance Smart Chain?
Yeah, if you look today, I mean, today's a good example. I mean, we have Ethereum going up to almost $3,500. And it's almost a victim of its own success in that regard, in that as the price of Ethereum goes up, as the usage of the Ethereum network goes up, so does the cost of actually transacting on Ethereum. And so for an Oracle like us, it means that each time that we make data available on chain, the price increases. And our goal has always been to be the lowest cost provider. I mean, effectively, we want to bring the cost of data to as close to zero as possible. And it makes it challenging for us to achieve that on Ethereum. And second, it makes it more difficult for us to decentralize and achieve our second goal, which is to be a community-owned Oracle, where we put the validator and the operations of the network into the hands of the individuals and community members. And so what you're seeing in the success of Ethereum and the price skyrocketing today, it ends up being more costly for operators such as ourselves. And therefore, we're making the decision to move to Binance Smart Chain, where we have much lower operating costs and we can focus on our goals. We do plan on continue to support Ethereum. It'll just be a little bit different than the way we're doing it today.
So is it correct to say that you think that as Ethereum's price continues to rise, these problems could actually just get more severe, or do you think that they will be resolved eventually?
I think that they will. I mean, Ethereum's usage is not going to decline, right? I mean, I do believe it's going to continue to rise. The price of Ethereum, I'm still bullish on it. At the same time, network congestion is going to increase until ETH2 comes out. However, I believe that Binance Smart Chain offers a solution today that can survive well into the future. So we're making that move where we're going to move a lot of the computation and the consensus onto Binance Smart Chain, but still support Ethereum through cross-messaging via Smart Chain.
So, good morning, Sam. One of the things we're seeing right now, of course, is that there's a spike in addresses on the Binance Smart Chain. It's surpassed Ethereum, the amount of on Ethereum. But one of the criticisms and part of why it's considered to be a low-cost network is that it's considered to be far more centralized than Ethereum is. What do you make of that criticism that the Binance Smart Chain is too centralized?
I think that's a fair criticism of BSC, but it just means that what usage can you make on BSC that makes sense, right? And so, yes, there are 21 nodes operating on BSC, certainly more centralized than Ethereum and many of the other networks. But what can you do with these low costs that you get from having a slightly more centralized version of it? And so for us, that means what we can do is actually become more decentralized on BSC. And the reason we can do that is that we're a layer 2 side chain that runs on top of layer 1 chains. And so we have our own network of validators and operators. And so with BSC's lower cost, we can be more decentralized on our network. And so BSC is not necessarily the suitable option for all networks and all projects, but for us, it makes sense because we can actually become more decentralized on BSC than we can on Ethereum because of Ethereum's high cost. To kind of elaborate on that, today on Ethereum, only the largest, most professional and well-capitalized validators can afford those costs, whereas on BSC, we can open that up to our community of individuals and small and medium enterprises.
But the fact that there are so few nodes, does it make sense to even be on a blockchain at all? I mean, is there another solution that could be done, without the need for going on the Binance Smart Chain? And also along those lines, there were a couple of projects on the Binance Smart Chain that suffered hacks over the past few days. Doesn't this add to more concern as you move your project onto it?
I think those are growing pains that we've all experienced and every chain has experienced over the years. I mean, dating back to the start of Bitcoin and all the way through Ethereum. I mean, we go through growing pains, and fortunately, we have an industry that understands that and is willing to work through those growing pains together. And I think we're going to go through that with Binance Smart Chain. I do believe in a multi-chain world. And so I think we're going to see similar events in other chains, not just BSC. And BSC is further along in going through those growing pains than many of the other chains.